So I finally got some hands-on time with Nvidia's brand new N1X processor at Computex, now being called the RTX Spark, which, by the way, thank you to Nvidia for covering my hotel and making this video possible. But I digress. This has got to be one of my most anticipated releases on the PC of 2026, and here's why. So the main issues with laptops today is the efficiency as well as the latency. See, on modern laptops, typically you have a setup with a integrated GPU plus CPU plus a dedicated GPU, and you're gonna have to take the signal from that dedicated GPU, route it through the GPU on the CPU, and then into your display. And this, in my testing, well, it causes significant latency, and the battery life due to the extra hardware is significantly worse than something like, say, an Apple M5 all-in-one processor. See, the genius behind those processors is that they're built from the ground up as an all-in-one system that's designed around efficiency, latency, and mobile performance first, and that leads to a really great experience on those laptops. But if you're like me, well, you might be a little bit more interested in something that has an Nvidia GPU. So what is somebody to do? Well, that's where something like the Nvidia N1X, or what they're calling the RTX Spark, is supposed to come in and basically solve that exact same problem. Give you all the efficiency advantages of something like Apple Silicon, but bring it onto Windows and give you all of the Nvidia benefits such as DLSS, ray tracing, ray reconstruction, and much, much more. And that is why I have been really hyped for this processor and why I was so excited to get some hands-on time with it. But if you're anything like me, you probably have a lot of questions about this chip. And let's first dive into the specs, and then I'm going to try and answer all those questions for you, because yes, there's a lot when we're talking about a brand new design like this. But before we get any further, thank you to Asus for sending me the 2026 ROG Zephyrus Duo and making my Computex editing even possible. With two 16-inch HDR 1000 True Black displays, the Zephyrus Duo is the only laptop on the market that you can use like a real desktop replacement with large enough screens, since the second screen can be unfolded to reach eye level and the keyboard can be detached, so you don't have to hunch over a tiny screen. But now back to the video. First of all, the specs. So this thing is going to be technically a 20 ARM core processor, which means yes, it's using actually technically mobile processing cores and not traditional desktop x86 cores. That could potentially cause some issues and has been a pain point in the past when trying to develop ARM on Windows, and I definitely asked them exactly about that, and we'll get to that in just a second. Now, on top of the CPU cores, which by the way, I do suspect will be very powerful and probably not too much slower than some of the fastest, I guess, chips that you see on the market today. I think they'll be plenty good for gaming, content creation, you name it. But they also have, and this is, I think this is basically the selling point of this chip, a really powerful Nvidia GPU packaged in with that CPU. So based on the specs here we're talking about, it looks like 6,144 streaming multiprocessors, or GPU cores is what you could kind of think of them as. Now, to give you some perspective, this is pretty similar to what you'd see on something like a mobile RTX 5070, and that is a really, really powerful graphics card. Now, to let you guys know, they would not go into exact performance of what to expect out of the GPU. I tried, they wouldn't tell me. They did show us some games, and we'll get to that in just a second. We're able to play some games, and yes, the experience was very good. However, keep in mind, just because it's a, technically close potentially to a mobile RTX 5070 in hardware, that doesn't mean it's going to be exactly that same amount of performance, because this chip is, I believe they're telling me it's supposed to be designed around 80 watts roughly. That's less than an RTX 5070 mobile alone, and that's CPU plus GPU. Now, that might be 80 watts off of the battery, and maybe it gets a little bit more when it's plugged in, but my experiences we'll go over in just a second between plugged in and unplugged was actually pretty dang similar. Now, this does also have access to up to 128 gigabytes of RAM. I was also told there should be a 64 gigabyte version as well. Now, that memory, at least on the top end chip, should be connected on a 256-bit bus, which will give you 273.2 gigabytes per second of total memory bandwidth in a unified memory design. So that'll tell you right away, just looking at the specs, a lot of memory bandwidth, a lot of GPU performance, and a lot of CPU performance in one package at a low power consumption, in theory. Now, we'll talk about power a little bit more in just a second here, but now let's get into all your questions, because, well, you probably have a lot, and so do I, and I asked them. So let's start off with, what can we expect in terms of compatibility and applications actually working, because this has been a bit of a pain point when trying to get ARM processors to work on Windows in the past, and it definitely has been getting better, but can Nvidia improve here? And here's what Nvidia told me. They basically told me Nvidia is committed to all major applications and games working on launch day one, not just AI. You probably have heard a lot of AI stuff about this processor, and it's true. This thing is, honestly, it's probably going to be an AI beast because you do have so much memory on board, and the design of the processor itself makes it very good at those tasks. And so if you're into that, yes, this is going to be great for that. But I want to more talk about, with this processor, the day-to-day use of it outside of not just AI, including gaming, you know, creative workloads, and everything you might do on your laptop. I think that's where this definitely has a really strong future as well. And so to hear them say that they're committed to not just AI compatibility, but compatibility with all applications across the board is a really huge step from them. And it goes to show me they're super committed to this processor. So committed that they told me they've already designed a generation 2 and 3 of this processor. So it seems like they're really not going to be giving up after just one generation. They are in this for the long run. And that is very good to hear, because we really do need a processor design like this from both Nvidia as well as their competitors to give us a good all-in-one processor design for laptops going forward. The days of separate CPU and GPU combos, frankly, in my opinion, I think we need to move past that to get a good laptop or mobile gaming experience on handhelds. We just simply need an all-in-one device, and this could be it. And I'm just so happy to hear this. Now, that being said, they did tell me they won't be able to exactly confirm every single application. We don't know. There's a possibility some outliers might end up getting missed. And if that does happen, they said, let Nvidia know and they will get right on it, especially when it comes to gaming. They're going to try and get absolutely everything working as good as possible. But now let's talk about gaming, because yes, they did show me some creative workloads as well, and I'll show you some quick clips of some stuff that was, you know, like Unreal Engine and Adobe, stuff like that. It was really fast, whether it was plugged in or unplugged. It was unbelievable how, you know, just low latency and responsive the system was doing all these creative workloads, and that was super impressive. But again, I want to talk gaming, because can this thing actually do it? And the answer was yes. Now, they were very tight-lipped about the actual performance. They will definitely not let me talk about performance numbers or anything like that, settings, etc. But what I will tell you is that these were fairly high-resolution laptops, and it was running games with DLSS, and they also talked about frame generation working as well as ray reconstruction. And again, getting all of those gaming features that Nvidia absolutely dominates on into a mobile system like this is a huge win across the board, and makes this could really elevate, I think, Windows laptops across the board. And what I will tell you in terms of performance, since I can't share any numbers or anything like that, is that I was very pleasantly surprised by the fluidity, the responsiveness, as well as the general, I guess, feeling of playing the games. Even though I will mention, it sounds like most games will be emulated on day one. They do say they're committed to bringing more and more games to getting native support, but yes, right away, a lot of games will be emulated, and I would suspect a little bit of a performance hit. Maybe you'll see a little bit higher latency or something here or there, but generally, you know, we checked out a native game and an emulated game, and they both ran pretty well, so there wasn't a major drop-off, which is very impressive to see. So whatever compatibility layer they're running seems to be very efficient and working very well. And that was something that I was very nervous about. And yeah, that's just another thing that's really great to hear. And they did also have some people from Windows who were telling us about how they've made all kinds of changes to Windows to really enhance compatibility and get everything working as well as possible on this new Nvidia chip. So it seems like everybody, not just Nvidia, but all their partners, are all very committed. Game studios, everyone across the board is very committed to getting this chip to work. And that's again, this is exactly what I want to hear. This is what I was hoping to hear from Nvidia going into this. And it definitely, you know, we'll see how this is on launch, but so far it's sounding good. But now let's talk about the release date and the pricing. And here's where I think it's going to get a little bit more iffy for people. So let's get release date right out of the way. So it sounds like probably fall 2026. I wouldn't be too surprised if it was close to October, something like that. So that does give them a little bit more time to work on the processor to get more and more native applications working, and better performance, better emulation, and better power efficiency so that on day one, it's a really great experience. But that being said, I'll be honest with you guys, again, I was really impressed with what I saw. And this to me, I think, I was very worried going in that there would be, maybe this was only for AI, or they would have a ton of problems, or they would tell us that, a bunch of games or applications wouldn't work, but it sounds like that's just not gonna be the case. And if anyone can do it, Nvidia probably can. They seem to be pretty much wizards when it comes to some of their software at times. However, we got to talk about the pricing, because there's leaks of pricing online talking about how the 128 gigabyte versions of this might be starting at like $2,900 or maybe even higher. And that's really expensive for a laptop. Now, of course, I do suspect there'll be 64 gigabyte versions and even cut down versions of the chip that will probably be much, much cheaper. But if you're someone who wants the most powerful chip, well, it's sounding like, at least so far, that these might end up being kind of expensive for a first generation product. And so maybe that's part of the reason why Nvidia was leaning into AI in a lot of its marketing, because that's where the money is. However, I actually don't think they even necessarily need to super rely on that to sell these things, because look at something like a MacBook. That's not super relying on AI. And even though the AI performance on these laptops is very impressive, don't get me wrong, and I think people will find it super cool, MacBooks are really expensive as well, and people buy them anyway, not just for AI, but because also they're just great devices. They just work really well. They have great battery life. Everything works. And it's just a really awesome all-in-one system. And I think what Nvidia is developing here could end up being the same thing. And if they do deliver on that, again, I don't even think they need to rely on AI to sell these things, as long as it delivers on what we saw when we had our hands on time at Computex.